This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Radar, and I'm thrilled to be speaking with Daisy Haggard about one of my favorite shows, Breeders.
Hello.
Hi. So, how has this character developed since you first heard about this show?
Well, I think the thing I love about this show is that it's very organic how the characters develop. And I feel like this season sees Ali have the hardest time, I think, that we've seen her. She's sort of always managed to keep the balls in the air and keep the family happy and sort of stay on top of things. And in this season, she can't get everything right. She doesn't get everything right. She experiences some quite complicated and difficult things. And I feel like we see her put under the most amount of strain that we've seen in a funny way, though, still, as well as being quite tragic.
Is it difficult to move between those funny moments and the much more serious arguments on set?
No, I don't find that difficult personally. And think that me and Martin are both of the belief that that's life, isn't it? So that's kind of how life is. So, in a funny way, it would be harder if you had to just be funny all the time and you couldn't then. So that's how I view life, and that's what I loved about the show, is that it's quite fluid between the moment which is quite silly and funny, and then suddenly the rug can be pulled and something dreadful can happen, because that feels quite real to me. So of course you do have to check. You sort of think, oh, I'm being a bit morose, I need to try and get some humor in here, but generally speaking, I sort of believe that's the way the world is. So I think we both find that kind of quite reassuring when we're playing in that field.
I was just watching an episode recently and thinking about how great the very subtle flashbacks are, where we get to see these little moments that fill things
Yeah.
in, especially the episode that started in the dentist office waiting room. Just that, it's
Oh,
a great opportunity to sort of reflect, and things don't always seem as bad when you have the opportunity to start from one place, or in some cases, especially early on, with Paul remembering the gentler moments with Luke and then the harsh
yeah.
reality of the moment.
And how everyone's memories are different, and how you go, well, you remember that, but you know what I remember about that day? I remember that I sang to you. And in the first episode, Paul remembering that he sang to Luke in the loo, that everyone has a selective memory. Yeah, I think the use of the flashbacks is really brilliant, actually, because it's especially with something that's about a family where so much can change in a year. A child is growing, so you have this sort of lovely innocent child, and then suddenly you have a complicated teenager, or it's a really lovely way of kind of peppering the sort of the tapestry of their lives through the show. I think it's great. They do it well.
I agree. And I know that this show is based in part on Martin's own experiences. How does that affect, just the process of being on screen together?
It doesn't in any way that's apart from that it's great, because he knows what he always knows what he's doing. He's one of those people. He's just really good. But no, it doesn't make it only makes it feel better, but also because it started there, but then it's evolved into something else. So that, in a way, that would be more of a question for Martin in terms of how he feels about that. But for me, I just get to work with Martin, who's brilliant always, and the fact that he knows the show so well is just makes it even more, makes it feel even richer.
Are there elements of Ali that you're able to relate to, and other things that you find challenging to connect to?
I always just think Ali's much cooler than I am. Like, I'm more sort of immature and messy, and she's just a bit more together. I mean, in this season, she has her moments, but I'm sillier than her. What I do relate to is the absolute juggle of family and parents and work, and just trying to keep your head up above the water. I relate to that as a working mother, but we're different and the same, I guess. I also think that we both share a sense of humor. I think I parent with humor, and Ali does too.
Well, speaking of parenting, I think that Alex Eastwood and Eve Purnell are just both so
They're so
incredible.
good, aren't they?
Yeah. What has it been like to sort of see them grow over the past few seasons?
Oh, it's really lovely, actually. I mean, it's really lovely watching people grow up and become more confident and more, I mean, they were brilliant last year, but this year they had the experience of having done a whole season of something, so they were just better and even more focused. And I mean, just so on it, so on top of big long scenes. I was much worse than them. They were way better than me. And they're just lovely humans as well. So it's really lovely, I mean, I have children and I have friends who have children. It's really lovely watching other people grow up, isn't it? And then to work with people and see them develop in such a great way, it's exciting.
Do you think this is a show that has many more seasons ahead? I know that for a lot of UK-based shows, 3 seasons even is pretty long already.
Yeah, or 2 quite often in the UK now. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely another season there. I feel like you want to see the next stage with the children, but that's just my personal. I don't get to write this, so I don't get any choice. But I can definitely, in my head, I can imagine another season where you see them and the next stage on. But I don't want to wear too much aging makeup. I just want.
That's very funny. No, I mean, again, I think it's great. Do you think that it goes over differently in the UK versus the US, or it's pretty universal about its parenting?
I mean, I think it's pretty universal in the sense that we're so presented with an Instagram version of parenting and families, and the perfection and everything's great. That universally, anybody who doesn't find things to be perfect seems to be rather relieved for this show. They're like, oh gosh, thank goodness. Something that's presenting the other side makes them feel seen, or it makes them feel smug and like they're much better than us, and that's great. So I think that's pretty universal.
Well, I know that I originally saw you on a show that was very much about the difference between UK and US when it comes to television, and that was Episodes.
Oh yes.
Which you didn't speak quite as much. I was actually rewatching a little bit because I didn't remember you speaking at all, and then I saw you did speak a little bit, but it was more just like these sounds.
I went a lot. I did a lot of good sounds. Yeah.
That to me is a very underappreciated show. I know it lasted for 5 seasons, but I still think there was such a subtle brilliance to it. Especially, I think I remember recently the like Matt LeBlanc part of it, that there was this dark drama buried in this Matt LeBlanc comedy.
It was so good, honestly. The writing on that show, I mean, it was amazing, and it was such a lovely job to do. I felt really sad when it ended. I keep hoping I'm going to get a phone call saying that they're bringing it back for. But yeah, it was really, really good fun, and actually, I just giggled a lot. I was very unprofessional because every time I had to make a noise, I'd make everyone laugh and myself laugh, and we'd all just laugh. So I think most of the outtakes are me going. And giggling, but it was a wonderful job to do, and I think it was a brilliant show.
We said that Breeders is true to life about parenting. Is Episodes true to life about television production?
I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, I think it's probably there's many moments in there that are quite accurate, especially having people that work in comedy that don't have any sense of humor. You do encounter those, but yeah, no, I've not personally had the experience that the people in Episodes had, but yeah, I think that the reason people liked it is that a few of the details were sort of super, nailing those truths.
And you have other TV shows like Back to Life that you've also worked on, right?
Yes, well, I wrote that and exec'd it and did all that and then was in it. So yeah, that was a big job for me too, which I really enjoyed. But it's lovely doing that, and then it's lovely doing Breeders and just going, give me the lines, let me try and nail it. You do the brilliant writing. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to stay up all night worrying about what someone's wearing. I can just do it.
Do you want to do more of that though, being behind the camera?
Yes, I do. I'm writing shows. I'm trying to develop and write shows at the moment. It's something I really, really love. I really love doing both, but I definitely want to do more of that. Wonderful.
Do you have anything else coming up?
Well, I'm just sort of in development for a couple of things that that aren't quite yet ready to speak of, but I'm working on it, put it that way. Yeah, I'm keen to get back to writing.
That's wonderful. And are we likely to see those shows in the US also, or only in the UK?
Well, if they ever happen, then you will see them. I will make sure of it personally. I'll send them to you.
Wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. I love Breeders, and I hope that just having a conversation about it is a chance for more people to find out about it and get to discover what a great show it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you.